As of 2025, the FNAF franchise is 10 years old, which means every Little Timmy mascot horror fan from 2014 is officially an unk now. And in those 10 years, a huge amount of fan games have come out looking to replicate the style of the original series with their own visions, a vast majority of which are not good. But out of all these fan creations, one in particular stands out to me, actually being one of the weirdest gaming experiences I think I've ever had. I'm not kidding when I say this, but I've had dreams about this game after playing it. They were actually really weird. I might need to go see a psychiatrist. Now, of course, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail. The game I'm talking about is Dormitabis, a fan game that came out back in 2018 and did actually get a remaster as of recently. But I'll be playing the original for this video because the remaster is too scary. Perfect! It's also riddled with controversies and is very disliked by the community overall, which I think is unfair because Dormitabis is a good game. I've seen so many people say, "Oh, well Dormitabis sucks, 3 out of 10, the creator did this, creator did that." And yeah, Blackout was a weirdo, and I just want to make it clear that I am not in defense of Blackout. As far as I know, he was a horrible person. But the issue is that these people are ignoring the game in favor of the controversy. The game is good, I'll admit, this game does have some glaring issues that definitely justify the hate the game gets, like the unpredictable crashing, graphical issues, and overall bad game design choices that have made this game a punching bag for the community. Also, the terrible voice acting, which... But I think this game deserves a chance. My goal with this video is to show people that this game is worth playing, or at least let people develop their own opinions about it instead of copying what their favorite YouTuber said about it. So enough yapping about all that, let's get into the gameplay. The first night begins with some text saying 12 nights earlier, which is foreshadowing for the horror that is this game's runtime. What the fucking fuck? Every night in this game lasts from 10 PM to 7 AM. Every one of these hours is 47 seconds, making one night about 8 minutes long. Running over to the computer, you pick up a call from the phone guy whose name is Peter, and one of the first things you'll notice is the unique camera system the game has. The cameras are an actual window that you can drag around. The letters FFD on the window most likely stand for Fredbear's Family Diner, which is an important location to the lore of this game. So, a quick rundown of the story real quick so everything makes sense. Your name is John Wright. You died in the Fazbear Fright's burning and woke up in Purgatory, which is where this game takes place. Peter, the phone guy, is your brother, who also died and is in Purgatory with you. The main antagonist of this game, Garvey, is also related to both of you, being your older brothers. Garvey is basically just the purple guy, except...
There's this hot 15-year-old that was part of the kid's friends group. She screamed. What the hell is this?
Pull the trigger! Let's go shoot me! Shoot me! Shoot me!
All the animatronics are supposedly your childhood friends who were killed by Garvey in the 80s and have no memory of their past lives. They're trying to kill you because your plasma, as the game calls it, is their only chance of survival, and all of them operate on a sleep cycle, taking turns on who attacks each night. And basically, Peter is trying to formulate a plan for both of you to escape and leave Garvey burning in hell. It goes deeper than this, but that was just the fast version. Moving on, Peter lets you know that the only enemy active tonight is Havoc Freddy, who is very simple to avoid. If he hears sound cue at the door, run to the other side and he'll leave. Furthermore, Peter tells us about this videotape that's on the desk to the left of the room. Grab it real quick, and that's about it for night 1. Night 2 introduces Havoc Chica and Am I Real? Chica is very similar to Freddy except she comes from the other side, and you also need to stare at her once you go to the other end of the room. Once she's gone, you need to quickly get back to the computer or else her cupcake, of all things, will end your run. Am I Real is the interesting one. He has 2 forms you'll need to pay attention to, Withered and Fixed. He'll shout the camera number he's on, and if he's in his withered form, you need to keep the camera on him until he turns fixed. By the way, as long as the camera is selected on him when you do, this still works when the computer is off. In later nights, he can be a very stressful component because of needing to pay attention to him while everything else is going on, but for now, he's easy. Also, whenever the night is about to end, this horror suspense sound plays right before cutting to black. However, the same sound also plays when you're about to get jump scared, which is cool on paper, but it completely removes the scare part of the jump scare. If the sound plays and it's not at least 6 AM, I mean, you know you fucked up. Night 3. This night introduces Soul Cage and Molten Evil. Soul Cage's design appears to be an amalgamation of everyone's favorite watermelons. Oh, I mean mannequins. Yeah, the mannequins from Fazbear's Fright. Yeah, but the design is completely ruined by these stupid little legs, bro. Like, really? The model in the remaster is much better though, which can be said for pretty much every character model, honestly. Anyways, he'll appear at the door to the right of the computer and do a fake jump scare that made me shit myself the first time it happened. He'll then run up to the ceiling and you have to stare him down until he leaves. Now, you're probably noticing a pattern with fending off the animatronics in this game. It makes zero sense to me how these angry souls that literally depend on you for their survival just decide to leave, you know, from a staring contest. Hell, even Garvey behaves this way, and he's the most sentient and important out of all the enemies. It works in the flow of gameplay and it's fun and unique, but realistically, it's just a bit silly. Okay, so next enemy, Molten Evil. This one's actually just weird. He shares the same look as Shadow Bonnie from FNAF 2, but instead of being a shitty mechanic that crashes your game for no reason, he actually works in the gameplay. That's right, I just dissed FNAF 2, sue me. He'll mess up your vision with what I assume is him smearing Colgate toothpaste on your face, and you have to look at the ceiling to get it off, and then you're chilling. Night 4 has Chica, Freddy, and Am I Real active, with the addition of one new enemy, Havoc Puppet. His design is just an onion with legs. Kinda reminds me of that one spider baby thing Sid made from Toy Story. He'll come from behind you at your window playing music, and yet again, you have to stare at him until he leaves. Night 5 is where the game gets really interesting. This night introduces Havoc Foxy and Golden Call, the most mechanically complex characters in the whole game. These guys are the most annoying duo in any FNAF fan game. They literally never give you a break. They are eager to eat your plasma. The way they work is Foxy will slowly come out of his stage and you can look at him on his camera to slow him down. Once he's fully out though, a password prompt from Golden Call appears on the screen. Foxy is holding up a sign on his camera with a randomized sentence on it, and the password is whatever the longest word is, and it's case sensitive. So if you manage to succeed here, quickly run to the other side of the room and stare Foxy down.
Oh my god, you're killing me! Get the fuck out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft!
If you fail, Golden Call smacks you on the head with his phone like a Chad and you die. Why the hell did I write that? Now, I'm gonna be honest, this is more of a fight with the UI than it is an actually difficult mechanic. Having to rearrange the camera panel and the password panel to be able to see shit is really annoying and stressful. And what's worse is these guys are sticking around for every night after this, and they just keep getting more aggressive every time. So, yeah, good luck, idiot.
Hey, just working hard so I can please you.
The 6th night introduces a new enemy yet again, the BOA, or Box of Abominations. He comes from the same side as Havoc Chica and plays a really cool sound cue that's worth mentioning. I'm not 100% sure what it says, but it sounds something like, "You're not human, are you?"
You aren't human, are you?
However, yet again, this amazing design, potentially amazing design, is ruined by these stupid tiny legs. I'm noticing a trend here. It completely ruins the intimidation factor of the enemy when it looks like that. I mean, that can be said for basically every enemy in this game except for Garvey. None of them look scary at all. Hell, if John wasn't a ghost, he could just WWE take down these fuckers and get out of the place. Peter's phone call this night explains the tapes a little bit. He says that his version of the Purgatory has them as well, and that they're based on memories of your traumatic childhood, I guess. Which, if you didn't know, the way the Purgatory is said to work is that you're all in the same place, but you all see it in a unique way. The Purgatory only lets you see what it wants you to see, so despite being in the same place, you and Peter are unable to find each other. John's version of the Purgatory is a combination of wherever he last lived in a charred-up Fredbear's Family Diner. Every copy of Dormitabis Purgatory is personalized. On night 7, Peter elaborates on the supposed sleep cycle that the animatronics have been on. He says they've been following the same cycle for years now, and that they're just now starting to act up. Shit, I can't stop burping, man. This basically implies that Peter has been dead for years now and has been surviving all of this during that time. Yikes, man. 7 nights of this was already enough. I can't imagine what my boy Peter was going through. Also, by now, you've probably noticed that throughout the nights, a lot of the animatronics are slowly disappearing and new ones are replacing them. Well, that's because of this game's really unique pacing system. Instead of using the same animatronics over and over, while progressively getting harder like pretty much every other game, Dormitabis cycles the enemies that are active for each night, which really justifies the 12 nights this game is comprised of. It gives you time to get used to the mechanics for every possible situation. You're definitely gonna need that once you get to the later nights, holy shit. It's really cool and I wish more fan games did this, because they tend to get really monotonous and boring really fast, which is something I never experienced while playing Dormitabis. It's just another reason why I really like this game. Peter begins night 8 by telling you about a supposed new animatronic that he keeps seeing. He isn't sure what it is, but if it's what he thinks it is, we're all screwed. He tells you he'll try to find a way out and get back to you about it tomorrow. He got back to us about it and...
We're done for. We are absolutely done for. Remember, Garvey, don't pretend you don't. He's here, and he's gonna erase all of us.
That's right, the child murdering rapist himself is here with us. Woohoo! Peter tells us that Garvey is closing in on him before telling us about these keys that we'll need to find that are hidden on the cameras in later nights. It's safe to say that by this point in the game, Peter is dead. This is by far the most chaotic night up to this point. Every mechanic you've been learning is putting you to the test to see if you're ready for what comes next. And man, I was not ready for what came next. Garvey night. Where do I even begin? So this night features the debut appearance of Garvey, who has dismantled all the other animatronics and is now coming after you. This night is hard. He's aggressive from the moment the night begins and never lets up. It takes many attempts of trial and error on your first time to finally beat this guy. Basically, he has 2 main ways of attacking you. If you hear his laughter from either side, look at the respective side you heard it from and stare him down till he leaves. If you hear his laughter on both sides, it means he's on the ceiling. Same deal here, just look at him till he's gone. Now, the second way, the way that confused me the most at first, is the vents. On the monitor, you'll notice a toggle vents button. Clicking on it will show 2 vent paths on both sides of your office where Garvey can come from. If you hear vent crawling sounds, look at the monitor to see which one he's in, then click on it to slow him down. Run to the other side of the room and stare at him till he leaves. Jesus, how many times am I gonna say that in this video? The main issue here is that the map on the screen is flipped, so it's very easy to accidentally look at the wrong side and die. Also, I didn't know that you had to click on the vents for an embarrassingly long amount of time, and kept dying to him just like this. But this is completely my fault, as the tutorial screen describes this. I was just too retarded to understand. He also talks to you throughout the night, giving him some character depth and connection to you, the player. It's just a shame the voice acting is fucking shit. You can barely tell what he's saying half the time. It's also super distracting when trying to listen for his sound cues, but it's nothing too intrusive. Additionally, the screen slowly darkens the longer you aren't looking at him for some reason, so you're supposed to look at him on the cameras to prevent it. However, the problem is that using the cameras too often will shut your computer down permanently and you won't be able to use it for the rest of the night. This is actually fucking stupid. Whoever designed this was on some serious meth. Like, I want what he's having type shit. I'm looking at you, Onatrick. It really only serves as artificial difficulty to make the night less fun to play. Oh, and about those keys I mentioned, one of them is on camera 5 tonight, and double click it to grab it. The next one will appear later. So once you reach 7 AM, it takes you to an ending cutscene, and I'll just let it play out for you. Okay, so that's the main campaign of Dormitabis completed. Finally. But there's still a lot to talk about. Plenty of extras, minigames, and even 2 more nights we still have to cover. Night 11 can be accessed through the extras menu labeled as Nightmare Mode. It's basically like FNAF All 20 mode. Every animatronic is active and very aggressive. And at 5 AM the night switches to a second Garvey night for some reason, but luckily it only lasts 2 hours this time. Oh, and also, this night fucking sucks. During the night, you'll notice that the window behind you is broken. There's a flashing arcade machine in the hallway that you can actually click on. Doing this brings you to a minigame called Havoc Freddy in Space. This minigame is an arcade-style UFO shooter thing. The beginning has you hijacked as UFO for some reason, which, by the way, is way harder than it looks. For some reason, the control to exit your UFO just sometimes doesn't work, so you have to spam control just praying that it lets you. I have died to this so many times. Once you do get it though, you fly through a building of enemies until reaching a really easy boss that you can just stay in one spot and kill without taking any damage the whole time. So once it's gone, this really random cutscene plays, and I think it's just best that I show you instead of trying to explain it. Yeah, I have no idea what that was. Completing Nightmare Mode unlocks the remaining parts of Extras menu, cheats, challenges, and unused content, as well as the final 12th night, and the Cardboard Theater minigame. So, the Cardboard Theater. Yet another cool concept ruined by bad developers. It serves the same purpose as those classic FNAF 8-bit minigames, letting the player experience some of the lore firsthand, being Garvey's murders. The problem is this timer right here. That's right, the game is on a timer, and if you don't reach the end before it expires, fuck you, I guess. Not to mention, it doesn't even tell you what to do. What the hell were the developers thinking with this? I can just imagine a press conference meeting going like, okay, so we're running out of content. What should we add next? More rape? Even more nights? Hey, how about this shitty minigame I whipped up last minute? Amazing idea, Employee of the Month! The 12th night is a classic FNAF style minigame at Cake Bears, which apparently is important to the lore of this game, I guess, which doesn't really make any sense because I thought we were supposed to be in Fredbear's. What the hell does it have to do with Cake Bears? Anyways, as for unused content, there's a lot to cover here. So, starting with the animatronics, we have Spring Glitch, who is going to appear in a minigame similar to Fun with Plushtrap from FNAF 4. He did actually get added into the remaster though, which is pretty cool. Same story with another scrapped animatronic called Dawnbreaker, who was originally part of the Dormitabis free roam beta. The only media of this beta that we have is some screenshots that basically show a grand total of nothing. So yeah, further we have Havoc Balloon Boy. What the fuck is this thing? Havoc Bonnie, Havoc Mangle, Havoc Fredbear, and that's about it for animatronics. The 0 Hour was a canned remake of Dormitabis that would aim to redesign the game from the ground up, and it's unknown why it was cancelled. The remake we ended up getting was definitely better than whatever it would have been. Speaking of other games, the developers of Dormitabis actually made another game before it called Insanity, which is basically just a really trashy FNAF 2 clone. Oh, and he also made One Fucking Night at Flumpty's. Yeah. That's a real thing. I think it's safe to say that Blackout's developer resume isn't the most qualified. Oh, and speaking of Blackout, now I'm not gonna go super in depth here because this topic has been done to death and is basically common knowledge at this point. Back in 2020, a YouTuber named Nocturnum released an exposed video on Blackout, who now goes by Nitchy, which alleged him of pedophilia, necrophilia, rape fetishes, and sending his bare ass to minors. average Minecraft YouTuber moment. And it made a lot of sense considering his choices with Garvey's character.
Top 15-year-old.
This controversy absolutely demolished any reputation this game had before. Not even any of the big YouTubers who make videos on every new fan game wanted to upload a video on Dormitabis. It's like the unspoken rule of the community that you just don't talk about Dormitabis. It's unfortunate because behind the awful developer is a great game. Which actually brings me to another important topic. Why is every nerdy online community filled with weirdos? Blackout is not some 1 in a million weirdo. People like him are everywhere in every internet fandom. Simply interacting with these people makes you want to go take a shower and enjoy nature. They're like walking diseases that ruin everything they touch. Why do you think the Undertale fandom has such a bad reputation? This is why. Now, as the video comes to an end, I want to give my final thoughts about Dormitabis. Dormitabis is a great fan game that I totally recommend. It's fun, unique, and has a lot of content to keep you coming back. If you've never played it before, I highly recommend you play the remaster by the Trilogy Collective. It's a far better game in every department, and they completely rewrote Garvey's character into a very human villain that you can actually feel sympathy for, which was a much needed change. The only reason I chose to make a video on the original is because it has a special place in my heart. It was the first FNAF fan game that I completed from start to finish, because I usually get bored of these types of games and like uninstall them halfway through, but Dormitabis kept me interested all the way through. It just has a super awesome concept that I wish was executed better. The idea of a point-and-click survival horror game in a purgatory is really cool. In fact, I've even tried it myself a few times back when I used to No Life Roblox Studio. Speaking of the remaster, the same team who made it is working on an entire Dormitabis trilogy, these games being Gateway, a direct sequel, and get this, a remaster of Insanity. I didn't even know a remaster for this piece of shit existed, but there is, and apparently they're remastering it again for some reason, as if anyone's gonna play it. Also, I played the first remaster and it's still shit. Anyways, I am genuinely really excited for these to come out, and who knows, I might make a video covering them in the future. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching, and whoever you are behind the screen, have a great day.